Right, we're off. Hello again. So let's do the second of the night. I'm only going to do two tonight. I've got a school night tomorrow, so I don't want to be getting drunk or anything silly like that. So, just done a Japanese. Was very tasty indeed. So let's see what this one is. Mystery Dram number, we're at 8 now. Andrew AP Butler. Thank you, Andrew. And let's see how we get on with this one. Not a clue what's in it. No idea how much, where it's from, what it is. Hell, it might not even be whiskey. He might have been really sneaky and put a rum in there. I hope he didn't. I'm not a big fan of... Ooh, blimey. Although, that could be rum. Look at that colour. Jesus. I thought the Hanyu was dark, but that's even more so. We're getting into, like, that colour. That reminds me of... like a really, really rich dessert sherry wine, that sort of thing. That's a hell of a colour, that. Good Lord. I'm hoping that's not got colour added to it, because if it has got colour added to it, it's about half a pint's worth. Good Lord, that is a really dark colour. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, I think this is I think this is cask strength, something along those lines. It's really got a lot of, it's got an intensity on the nose, but there is a definite clean alcohol feel. Now, whereas if you've seen the previous video, you'll have seen and heard me talk about the fact that it didn't feel Scotch. It didn't, on the nose, it didn't feel like it was Scotch. It wasn't saying Scotch to me. This does. This has a Scotchy, it's a very malty feel to it. There's other things in there. There is a freshness to it. It's not really coastal. Although there's a slight oiliness to it. It's just, I think it's the malty character. It just says this is Scotch. Or possibly American. It's, yeah, it's not quite rye enough and it's not quite fruity enough, but it's almost like it's been matured in bourbon cask. I don't know, it's just a feel. It's like a gut instinct of this is Scotch rather than American. Which means it's probably Irish, French, something like that, I don't know. There is a slightly salty freshness to it, as well as a dark fruit feel. Actually, maybe not bourbon. Maybe this is more sherry cask. I don't know. There's a bit of vanilla in there as well. It's sort of raisins and sultanas. It's kind of straddling bourbon and sherry casks, but there's a maltiness to it. There's a lovely, really, really thick honey character to it as well. It's fantastic on the nose, really, really nice, but really fruity. It's pretty much a sherry bomb. But like I say, there's this slight salty sea air feel to it. I don't think it's Highland Park. We've already had a Highland Park. I'd be surprised if Andrew put another one in, and it's not quite sea air enough. Ooh. So there's there's a definite sherry element to this. There's a really chewy mouthfeel to it, and it's kind of like chocolate, and it's like fruit and nut chocolate. Pretty certain this is cask strength. Yeah, I'm going to go with cask strength. There's a really soft, spicy feel to it. Real soft spice, sweet spice. But then this finish lingers and lingers and lingers, and it's Cadbury's dairy milk fruit and nut. It's the milky chocolate of a Cadbury's particular, not that Hershey shite, it's terrible. And certainly not that Kinnerton crap you get in the cheap Easter eggs and advent calendars and things like that. It's Cadbury's Dairy Milk Chocolate, but it's the fruit nut bar that you get, because there is this slight hazelnut, but a really sweet hazelnut, and then the raisins as well. It's definitely got, but it's thick and unctuous as well. Cadbury's Dairy Milk is quite a sugary chocolate, and it really leaves this lingering aftertaste in your mouth, where it feels like the inside of your mouth is coated with a layer of Cadbury's chocolate, because it just lingers. Yeah, it's too cloying for some. I love the stuff, really, really nice. But you get that, it's the aftertaste of Cadbury's fruit and nut, where you get this lingering sensation of hazelnuts and raisins and sweet milk chocolate. There's a touch of cinnamon and nutmeg, really sweet cinnamon and nutmeg. This ever so slightly subtle smokiness. Do you know what this reminds me of? It'd be bloody brilliant if it is. And I think I said this in one of the other blind ones that I did, where I thought it was something like Brora or Clynelish, one of those two, because of this really subtle smokiness. I can't remember what it was. It ended up being American, I think. But this has got that same vibe of this very, very subtle sweet smoke. It's the sweet smokiness. It's not quite barbecue sweetness. It's still a campfire sweetness, but it's so subtle and just, it underpins all the other flavours. It just, and I think I'd kind of convinced myself that the other one was Clynelish and Brora, and it's got that feel. It's something that I associate with Brora and Clynelish, particularly Brora, with this subtle smokiness. It's the sweetness of it, and it's something that I absolutely adore, and I love this. This is absolutely fantastic. This combination of sweet smoke, of milk chocolate, of very, very, it's, you know, a fruit and nut bar doesn't have a lot of nuts in and a lot of fruit in, but it's got enough that it gives you this lingering taste sensation. It's like a bloody advert for it. And it's there, but there's also this unctuous, sherry, honeyed sweetness to it as well. It's incredibly dark. I mean, if this was something like Brora, natural colouring that I don't know, God knows what age it is, particularly with the Broras now, like that you find at the moment, they're like 25, 28, 30 years old. Now, Andrew has already given me some amazing drams, just some unbelievable stuff. So ordinarily, I would go, well, it's probably not a Brora because it's incredibly rare and incredibly expensive. But he's given me some mind-blowingly good drams in this blind lot, so I wouldn't put it past him to put something daft like a 32-year-old Brora in. But it's either that or it's something American, but something top drawer American. Something like, you know, I don't know, not Pappy. Well, we had that, what was it, Pappy 20-year-old? I think that might have been the one where I thought it was Brora or Clynelish, and it turned out to be Pappy 21. I think Pappy 20. I can't remember. I'm not going to go back and watch them now. This could be American. That's the only other thing I would go, it possibly could be, because there is such a depth of sweetness to it. And if it's American with this colouring, I would think it's probably like a 20-year-old something, I don't know what, but something like that. That's what I'm going to go for. It's incredible. It's an amazing whiskey. It really is, genuinely, absolutely. It ticks every box that I would want out of a really, really good whiskey. I think this is cask strength. I think this is old. I think this is minimal 18. I think it's Scotch. I'm going to go with something like Brora or Clynelish or maybe Highland Park. but an unusual Highland Park, you know, like an independent bottling Highland Park where they've done something a bit different with it, and they've kind of like, it's been like a first fill Oloroso sherry or something like that. It's got that kind of Oloroso, maybe even Pedro Jimenez sherry cask, that sort of thing. Let's have a look. Let's see where we are. Well, there we go. You might have to excuse me because I am going to be a little bit smug, and I shouldn't be because it's not very nice to be a smug person. But this is not that one. Ah, there we go. Okay, so this is Clynelish 18-year-old TWE retro label. TWE being the Whisky Exchange, of which my very good friend Ollie Chilton works for. This is actually what it looks like on the Whisky Exchange page. They don't have it in stock, but the retro label is presumably because it's got a retro label. It is 50.6%, which I'm assuming is cask strength, and it is an 18-year-old. And it is bloody amazing. An 18-year-old Clynelish released for the Whisky Exchange Whisky Show 2014. Heavily sherried whiskies from Clynelish don't come around very often, and this one carefully balances sherry fruit with the distillery's famed fruity and waxy character. To be honest, if it was Ben, this is Clynelish or Brora, which one is it? I would have said Brora, because Brora I always associate being slightly more smoky. And the waxiness, well, I was probably picking up the waxiness, but I couldn't, because now I've read waxy, yeah, that makes sense. But I couldn't articulate, I wasn't able to articulate that. My head wasn't going, there's a waxy element as well. Fruitiness through the roof. It doesn't need water, to be honest. Now, what I'm going to see is if there's a price for it. I dread to think how much this is. In fact, it's probably not even Words of Whiskey. I might not even be able to find it. There's a signatory bottling for the Whisky Exchange, which was an 18-year-old as well. So that's coming up in terms of auctions and things like that. It's incredible. Price 300. Well, whiskey base is that's dollars. £270.90. Not quite sure how that works out. It's an amazing whiskey. It really is. I'm quite chuffed I managed to get that close to it, to be honest. I was sort of second guessing myself that there may have been an American element to it. You know, it may have actually been from America, but it's not like Brora and Clynelish are super distinctive, but there isn't much like it, not a lot like it, and what there is really, really good. It's an incredibly highly regarded distillery, both of them. Well, you know, Brora was, but I haven't found a Duff one yet. It's like me and Kalila. I've yet to find a bad Brora and a bad Clynelish. I've got some water in this. Let's just finish this a little bit off. And to be honest, it's actually done it no favours whatsoever by putting the water in it. It's brought that fruitiness way down, way down. I don't think I've put too much water in it either. It doesn't need the water in. Excuse me. No, you just drink it untouched. It's a stunning whiskey. It really is absolutely phenomenal. Andrew, thank you. Again, this is just some unbelievable whiskies that you've put in these blind tastings. Yes, I'll allow myself a smug pat on the back for picking the, well, I thought it was at least 18. I would have said older, to be perfectly honest, 21, 25 even. just with that depth. But amazing stuff, absolutely brilliant. So thank you very much, Andrew, much appreciate that, and I shall see you at the next one. Cheers.